Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at a couple more action figures made by Mego, and these are two from their horror series, and these are both Universal monsters as well, because they both are possible because Mego acquired the licensing deal to produce officially licensed Universal monsters. So I'm very excited to have these in my collection, and these are the box variants that were basically released as Walmart exclusives. I don't think they're Walmart exclusives anymore because I've actually seen them starting to show up on other websites, including Big Bad Toy Store. So I think they're only temporarily Walmart exclusives. I did pick these up at Walmart recently during my most recent visit to my local store, and I was very excited to find them. These were the only two that I was able to find. There are a bunch of others that were also released in this format, and I do kind of like this boxed format. It's very reminiscent of some of the early releases of Mego back in the 1970s. They actually produced figures in a window box, not exactly like this, but in terms of the packaging style, it is more reminiscent of the early Mego packaging before they switched over to doing blister cards for all of their figures. So it's kind of cool to actually have, these small box figures. They're almost like a shrunk down version of the larger 14-inch figures that Mego has also produced. So I'm very excited to have these. And so what we're looking at today is the Invisible Man and the Mole People. And Invisible Man, most of you are familiar with. You've probably seen that film. And I think they did a really good job in terms of reproducing this figure. We will be getting both these out of the boxes, so stay tuned to later in the video if you want to see what these look like loose. But I want to show you what the box looks like. As you can see, you got pictures of the character on all three sides, so that's very cool. You got the standard write-up on Marty Abrams, and also credit given to the various contributors who helped create this. And you can see the date on this, 2021. And these didn't really arrive in stores, I don't think, until 2022. But this is basically when they were produced. So cool figure. And Mole People is more of a obscure movie. A lot of people haven't really seen it. It's certainly not as well known as The Invisible Man, but it is sort of this, kind of cheesy film. And I believe it was produced in the 1950s and has this kind of bizarre looking monster in it. So pretty cool. It's kind of a cult classic in a way. And again, on the back of the package, you see the standard write-up on Marty Abrams and credit given to the various contributors. So cool presentation on these figures in the boxes, but I am anxious to get them out of the boxes so that we can take a look at them up close. So stay tuned. Okay, so here we have these two figures out of the package now. And I really do like that box style packaging because it's very collector friendly. Basically, these figures were not even wired in there, so they were just sitting in a plastic rear bubble. So all you had to do was slice open the bottom of the package and remove the figure. So that's great because after I'm done reviewing these, I can put them back in the boxes and it'll look like it never even happened. So it's a great way to sort of preserve the figures in sort of pristine condition, and they can be taken in and out of the package without really damaging the figure or the package, and so that's really cool. And in terms of Invisible Man, I think they just did a fantastic job on this head sculpt. As you can see, it's got those glasses and sort of the bandage wrapping around his head. He's also wearing a sort of like scarf that's held on with like an elastic, and the entire rest of the body is molded in a translucent plastic. Very much like the first original Invisible Man, the unlicensed version that Mego had produced earlier. So yeah, so as you can see when you roll up the sleeves, yeah, this whole thing is done in that translucent plastic. Again, with the legs, the whole body is basically done like that. So that's very cool, and I love his outfit. I think it looks, very much in keeping with the way he looks in the actual film. So yeah, this looks fantastic. And again, that head sculpt, yeah, I think that's killer. I think it looks really, really good. So overall, I'm just very happy with the way that they did this. Yeah, it looks fantastic. And then on the Mole People figure, this one's much more basic. The head sculpt on this is It's cool, but it's it's a goofy looking character, so not quite as exciting to look at as the Invisible Man figure. And this figure is done all in green. The one really nice thing about this one is the unique hand sculpts, though. As you can see, he's got these claw hands. So that looks very cool. I'm very excited to have that. This makes it completely unique from all the other Mego figures. The rest of the body is pretty much standard Mego, and these are the banded bodies. These are held together with crisscrossing elastic bands inside of the figure, and that's what holds it together. And as long as I have these loose, I'm going to go over the articulation real fast. I do have a Mego articulation guide video on my channel, which goes over this as well. But as long as we have these in hand, it's easy to just do it in this video as well, so you can see what the articulation is like on these. So at the head, you basically get a spin. There's a single point of articulation there. At the shoulder, he can extend out like that. Also gets 360-degree movement back and forth like that. At the elbow, there's a single joint there. At the wrist, you can see he can bend back and forth like this, and there's also a pivot joint there. At the waist, he can move back and forth, side to side, and pivot. At the hip, you can kick out, kick forward, kick back. At the knee, there's a single joint right there, and at the ankle, single joint right there. So not a ton of articulation, but certainly enough to get these Mego figures in cool poses. There also is a little bit of thigh rotation as well, because of the band that holds the hip joint in there. You actually can reposition the feet sort of from side to side by repositioning at the hip joint. So yeah, there's a little bit of side to side movement with the feet there. So that's kind of a cool feature. So overall, very happy with these figures. I think they look great. And again, with the universal license and everything that Mego now has, they have the opportunity to do these and make them look very authentic, very much in keeping with the way these characters look in the movies. So that's very cool. That's all I have for you today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more reviews of Mego action figures in the future, think about subscribing to the channel, because I will be covering more of this kind of stuff in future videos. Until next time, I hope you're having a great day, and thanks for watching.